Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Sunday Morning Coffee with Lisa. I'm Spiritual Coach Lisa Hopp. It is Sunday, April 20th, 2025. Thank you so much for joining me today. Happy Easter to all those who celebrate. If you are new to this podcast, please be sure to check out my website at lisahopp.com. It is all about my work and all about my upcoming events as well. And I'm also on Instagram under Spiritual Coach Lisa Hopp, and I'm also on Facebook under business page Lisa M. Hopp, Spiritual Coach and Medium. Thank you again to everyone for joining me. If you are returning, if you listen every week, thank you so much. Thank you for the emails. Thank you for the support. I'm just very grateful. Just thank you. Thank you for giving me a reason to feel so grateful. I just appreciate so very much. Today's topic: the healing power of Easter. I'm going to turn on this a little bit and kind of give you some what ifs. I love Easter, by the way. I love the new beginnings of Easter. It's the resurrection time, the fresh start. I love the flowers. I love the food. It is a very joyous time for me on Good Friday. It's a very private time. I do the stations, I fast, then I make a special meal. It's not anymore a holiday that I spend in church. It's a quote holiday where I am contemplative, where I communicate with heaven, connect to that energy. It's very, very special to me. And I feel it is there to be in the same way for anyone who celebrates Easter. I think it's wonderful when people get up at sunrise, or up at sunrise, all ready to go. I think it's wonderful that they go to the visuals and to the masses. For me, it's always been much more personal. And I love seeing how people get back on Holy Thursday and on Good Friday. It's so very important in this world to give to each other. It's really what it's all about, being one, serving each other. But the one thing that has always troubled me, even as a small child, is the violence of Good Friday. Violence. And how that violence is portrayed through walks through streets, blood. Just focus. And that violence also is represented, and hear me out with this, it's represented through the cross that is worn. The focus on the cross, which comes back to the violence, the sacrifice. It's extreme. Have you ever thought about that? The direction, the focus, the connection of the cross to the crucifixion and the violence of it. We are taught, a lot of us who are Christian, that crucifixion was a sacrificial moment that was needed in order for Christians to be saved. That violence was necessary. As a child, I always knew, as I know today, that it wasn't about the crucifixion. It was about always the resurrection and the proof that life goes on and that we all go to heaven. The crucifixion was just the way to get there. It was never supposed to be the focal point, the major point. But those in power, and this is where the what ifs start. I apologize for my stumble. What if the crucifixion is used, has been used, to promote fear, as it did in the times of Jesus through Roman occupation, as it does now? So many people have been taught that Jesus had to die for our sins, had to be tortured and murdered so that we would be in line. What if we never had to be saved? What if our birthright was always to come from heaven and to go back to heaven? Heaven would say to you, never live in fear. Be fearless. When you witness the crucifixion through movies, plays, readings, walks, stations of the cross, do you feel fear? I bet you do. You probably, like me, also feel immense grief, sadness for what Jesus endured. But let us be very clear. He was a victim of politics, of misinformation. He is an early symbol of our times. Very timely, more than ever. And he was a prophet, an intuitive, dare I say a psychic. He knew it was coming. And naturally, he lived in fear of his upcoming suffering. Because he had a human side, as we all do. And he knew the importance of going through it, of not running, of not trying to avoid. He asked for it to be taken from him, if it could be. But he went with it because he knew ultimately about Easter Sunday. I will say that yesterday in my contemplation, or Good Friday, excuse me, when he was on the cross before he took his last breath, he said, "God, why have you forsaken me?" I asked on Good Friday for clarity about that. What did he mean? How did it not go the way he thought or knew? And maybe one of you knows that or more. If you do, you can, by all means, share your thoughts on that. It struck me on Good Friday when I was doing the stations. Of what that moment, maybe he just felt alone, as we all can feel alone. I remember, and not equal, not equal in the least bit. I remember a time about 12 years ago when I was receiving a stem cell transplant. And I assumed when I was spending, I was there, I got out early. I actually got out about 2.5 weeks. In about 2.5 weeks, when it was just naturally thought that I would be there longer. But during that time, I expected to feel support around me, whether it be departed loved ones or angels, and I didn't for most of the time. Finally, as I came to the close of my time, I did. But for rest of the time, meaning one moment, like right at the end of my stay, I had a connection moment. But the rest of the time, over 2 weeks, nothing. And for those of you who have never had a stem cell transplant, you're very sick. They basically bring your body to rock bottom to save you. You have no immune system. You have no way to fight anything. You are you're very sick. You're very sick. I could not hold food down. I lost my hair, which is just an extra side effect. You're tested, but for the better. And through this test, I felt no visitors. And as I said, this isn't equal, because of course I wasn't suffering like Jesus Christ. But I can understand to a smallest measure the feeling of abandonment. So my thinking as I talk with you in this moment is perhaps that moment is what it means. Why did you leave me now? to any measure of time. But the wonderful thing about, not wonderful, but the thing about heaven is that it's always there. Our helpers are always there. Sometimes, though, it's necessary that we don't perceive them. It brings us qualities, growth, expansion that we wouldn't have had otherwise. There's a reason for it. Though it can be challenging, it can be tough. So, when I say to you, what if? What I'm saying to you is that what many have been taught is not the truth. And I want to pose it to you gently. That perhaps the crucifixion was just a way to a means. And that Jesus wanted to teach, came to teach, to represent. Our worthiness and deservedness to have eternal life, to speak that truth. That we come from a place of love and at some point let go of our physical bodies and join fully in wholeness that place of love. Now, Jesus was a master teacher. He is what is called an ascended master. He guides us all the time to know our own power, to join in the oneness of heaven, to understand we're not separate, that we are part of that consciousness. His biggest teachings, as many of you know, were about love. Love each other. Ask and ye shall receive. Unconditional, immeasurable. Jesus, to my knowledge, never taught that any of us have to be saved or crucified to join heaven, to join him in heaven. He said to the thief on the cross, "You will be with me this day in paradise." He knew that that thief did not have to do anything other than be a child of God to join him in paradise. So what is the point of my what ifs today on this Easter Sunday? This is an opportunity to understand and to not focus on being a sinner, unworthy, need to be saved, have fear, not be good enough. That is not truth. You don't have to feel those feelings. You can feel the sadness of someone who was put to death that did no crime, except speak of power of the people, love, and not even power. Oh my goodness, the audacity of telling those that listen to him that those who will come after him will do greater works than him. That they can be one with that heavenly energy. How empowered, how powerful they are. And he gave them keys. Again, back to love. And accepting. Not judging. That is how we are all supposed to be if we want to align with the energy of Jesus. Open arms, open doors. Joyful, happy. Easter is a time of rebirth. It is a time of letting go of the old winter dead time and the new body, the new life, blooming, prospering. This is the wonder of this day. Today, what can you do to be new you, letting go of that old, feeling that joy within, feeling the God that you are within, connected to that energy. The wonderful thing about Jesus, Blessed Mother Mary, is that they don't see themselves above you. You are even to them. It is us who feels dirty, sinner, small, limited, scared, angry. Heaven, Jesus, Mary, they look at us as the children of God we are, with all our possibilities and probabilities. Be careful about how you feel about yourself. Always, as much as you can, come from a place of unconditional love, grace, integrity, honesty. Bluntly speaking, there are so many people, hopefully not a lot, that will go to church today and yet celebrate atrocities happening to people. Often people use the example of going to church and then cutting people out in the parking lot right after. It's important to know that what happens to one happens to the all. It's not supposed to just happen to you for it to be meaningful. We're all in this together. You are impacted by the energy of another. And what happens to them? Are you supposed to fix it and save it outwardly all the time? Actually, no. It's supposed to be an inside job. If you want peace in this world, you must feel peace within first and then extend it out. If you want love in this world, you must feel love, real love, inside first and then extend it out. Harmony, same. Justice, same. Feel within, happening, and then send it out. Everything is an inside job first. And never let another's judgment, gaslighting, controlling tactics, fear-based tactics, divert from you the truth. That you are enough. Just by the very nature of your creation. And today you have the power, or whenever you listen to this podcast, you have the power to make a new life for yourself, a new you. It starts with thoughts, feelings, words, and changing of habits. It's all in your hands. Change on the outside starts with change on the inside. It's the only way to do it. On Easter Sunday, we were supposed to learn that heaven is ours, that paradise is ours. That we are worthy. That the energy that we are lives on. Walk around like that. And you will feel and see the blessings. Thank you so much for joining me. If you're listening to this through YouTube, please like, subscribe, and share. And for all the other platforms, thank you so much for following and listening. I appreciate it. And if you ever have an idea for a topic, please email me at serenitiharbor@verizon.net. And I wish for you a blessed day. If you, like me, will be sharing it with family, I hope it is all you would hope for. And until next time, many blessings.